The Prime Minister has stepped in on this row over Strictly Come Dancing, and 3 pro-dancers who've declined to get the COVID jab. The Prime Minister's told them to get the jab. There's talk about the show axing them, or even the show not being able to go ahead. Is it anyone's business, least of all the Prime Minister's, whether a private individual chooses to get medical treatment or not?
Well, we've got a very consistent message as a government, which is, we're not going to force anybody to get vaccines. Obviously, we can't do that and never would do that. But what we do believe is that we want the maximum possible uptake of the vaccine. It's been the thing that's allowed us to come out of lockdown, to remove those restrictions, and it's going to be crucial as we go into the winter that as many people as possible get the vaccine.
So is it anyone's business, including the Prime Minister's, whether or not a pro-dancer on Strictly has had the jab or not?
Well, look, I suspect the Prime Minister was asked a straight question and gave a straight answer.
And he could have said, it's none of my business. And he didn't.
Well, I think it is, because we're very clear that we do want people to get the vaccine.
Yes.
And he's been consistent on that.
Should they be axed from the show, these people, if they don't get jabbed?
Well, look, that is a decision for those that are running the show.
No, I'm asking your opinion.
Well, my opinion is that we don't, there's no requirement on people to have the vaccine unless they are working in care homes, for instance.
Okay, so to clarify, you agree with me that no one should lose their job working on Strictly Come Dancing because they've not had the jab?
But I'm not. It is a decision for the employers in these sorts of situations. But my own position.
Is it? So wait a minute. So for instance, my employer could sack me if I'd chosen not to get the jab, and that would be fine with you?
Well, the only people who are required to have the jab as a condition of employment is those working in care homes and the NHS settings where they're obviously a risk to vulnerable people.
So everyone else, it's up to them.
In other areas, we've required, obviously, people to demonstrate that they've had the vaccine in order to be able to get access to certain high-risk events. But look, it's a choice for individuals.
Yes.
In these,
so you agree with me that no one should lose their job if they've chosen not to get the jab, if they're not in any of those settings? Yes or no?
The government position is we want as many people as possible to have the jab.
It's not an answer to my question, sir.
Well, it's a recommendation that everybody should get the jab.
Yeah, I understand that.
It doesn't mean, but it's not. It doesn't mean. Of course, people should not be losing their jobs if they choose.
So you agree with me? The Strictly Come Dancing pro dancers who've not been jabbed should not face losing their job or be threatened with it for not having.
I've not. This is the first I've heard of this particular
front page of the Sun today.
Story. Yes, I'm afraid I haven't read the front page, but I'm not familiar with this route, so I'm not going to get into giving a definitive answer.
All right.
But
Seems to me it's a decision you don't need to know even the details on that. It seems to me you either believe in the people's freedom to choose whether or not to get medical treatment or not, or you don't.
Well, I've been very clear that it's an individual choice for people, but we want as many people as possible to get the vaccine.
Right. We'll leave it there.
The quickest way.
I know you've got to go another interview to get to. Really appreciate you joining us, Environment Secretary George Eustice.